if there was anything I could do to produce a favorable outcome, more campaign stops, more interviews, I would do it. But I can't ask our supporters to volunteer their time and donate their resources if we don't have a clear path to victory. Accordingly, I am today suspending my campaign.
Okay. It's official. Ron DeSantis dropped out of the race over the weekend. He endorsed Donald Trump. He didn't endorse Nikki Haley. All right. So, look, let's have a talk. It's just you and me talking here. We just have honest conversations on this show. Whether it makes you mad or not, we have honest conversations on the show. Half of the people watching right now are celebrating, maybe even doing a little football spike. And yeah, I told you Trump was going to kill him. And the other half of the people are despondent. Remember, about half the base supported Trump, about half wanted somebody else. Half are not happy. Right? DeSantis is gone. It's who they wanted. Maybe they've soured on Trump for one reason or the other, but none of that stuff matters. It's over. Now, here's what happens after you lose a race. And you need to take this from me because I've lost two. Well, I ran for Congress twice. I won two primaries. I won both my primaries, and then I lost general elections. And one thing you learn after you lose an election is everybody has their own take on exactly why you lost whenever you lost. Everyone becomes the campaign expert you should have hired, and then you would have won. Jesse, if you'd only done that, you would have won. Jesse, if you'd only done this, you would have won. Jesse, if you'd done that, you would. And they're all different, right? Everyone becomes an expert. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about me. We're nerds. Let me explain. We're political nerds. It's a good thing for you. It's a compliment. But this is our lot in life. Our lot in life is we are hyper-informed. You might even call it over-informed. You understand more about politics and the issues and this guy and this law and that law than 99.99% of the population. I wish everyone was as informed as you. They're not. Right? And I know this about you. You're watching this. You have endless options on the dial. You can turn through the TV channel. This is a phone, not a remote control. But you can turn through the TV channel and watch anything right now. You're watching me on I'm Right. You're overinformed. So overinformed people, what they'll do is, I do this too, I'm guilty too, they'll project this, their state, their overinformed state, they'll project it onto all the voters. And that's why you get these ridiculous analysis of dead campaigns or campaigns that are gone. Ron DeSantis should have done this. If Ron DeSantis had just hired a different media director in Iowa, oh, shut up. None of the voters even know who Ron DeSantis' media director was. Elections are not about small things. We overinformed people think they're about small things. This campaign manager, did you see that ad? Elections are about big things. Donald Trump was just president for 4 years. Donald Trump is still the most popular president in the United States of America. It's likely that it was impossible for any Republican in the country to take on and defeat Donald Trump in the primary. That's likely before the indictments came down. Then the indictments came down and it sealed the deal. You and I don't have to argue about it. All the polling shows it. The numbers were getting closer and closer and closer, and then Trump gets indicted, and pow, it was never within 30, 40 points after that. The GOP base is not going to stand for the federal government indicting Donald Trump on bogus crap charges, and they were never, under any circumstances, going to consider liking someone else more than they like him. I know that may not apply to you. It's a coin flip. Like I said, half the base loves him, half the base does not. That's the truth. DeSantis could have run the best campaign in history. It would not have mattered. George Washington could come back and run for office, and Trump would still beat him soundly in all 50 states. It's Donald Trump, still the most popular Republican, and now he's indicted. Okay? So listen, I'm just going to give you this, because we have a bunch of other stuff in this show we want to get to. I'll just give you this. We are fresh off of DeSantis officially bowing out. This is a time where people get extremely emotional, highs and lows. You're in for about 48 to 72 hours of a lot of Donald Trump people spiking the football. We won, you suck, go home. And that's fine, that's what winners do. And we're 48 to 72 hours, we're in for about 48 to 72 hours of a bunch of DeSantis people saying, I'm never voting for Trump, screw him, all is lost, the country's over. I get all that. Let people be emotional for 48 to 72 hours, and then we move on to the general election. And so people ask me too, Jesse, what are you going to do? How are you going to handle it? I'll tell you, I've always been honest with you about how I vote, who I vote for, and why I vote. I've always been honest with you about that. I intend to vote for Donald Trump in the general election, just like I did in the last general election. I understand if that's a no for you. People will say that to me, well, Jesse, I'm not voting at all. And they'll say it as if they want me to correct them or scold them. Your vote is the only political power you have. I shouldn't have that power, the power of your vote. Your sister shouldn't. Your daughter, your mom, your dad, your neighbor, your co. Your vote is your only power. In a representative republic like we have, it's the only power you have. You don't give it away for anybody. If you want to crawl over 10 miles of broken glass to work for and vote for Donald Trump for president in November, then you do that. If you hate his guts for the lockdown stuff or whatever, and you're, Jesse, I'm not voting. I'm voting for RFK or whatever, fine. You know what matters to me? Not who you vote for or who you don't vote for, because that's not the biggest problem we have in this country. The biggest problem we have in this country is people don't care. People are apathetic. What matters most to me is that you care enough to vote or not vote for a reason. You care. The American people who don't, they are the problem.